middle of the desert, something powerful is moving beneath the dust, an unstoppable force that's destroying farms, forests, and entire ecosystems across America. It's not a drought, not a wildfire, but millions of wild boars spreading faster than anyone imagined. Farmers are losing crops overnight, rivers are being polluted, and the land itself is changing. What started as a small problem has grown into one of the biggest ecological crises in the country, and it's getting worse every year. Under the scorching desert sun, the horizon wavers like liquid glass. The silence stretches for miles until a faint rumble begins to build steady, low, and powerful. A thick cloud of dust rolls across the barren plain as something massive emerges from the shimmer of heat. A giant wild boar, muscles tensed, tusks sharp as blades, bursts into view. It charges forward with relentless force, a living engine of fury and survival. Standing in its path, a seasoned hunter grips his rifle, steady and focused. This is more than just a confrontation between man and beast. It's a glimpse into one of the most persistent wildlife battles happening across America, one that quietly affects millions of acres, billions of dollars, and the delicate balance of entire ecosystems. Across the southern United States, from the dry plains of New Mexico to the fertile delta fields of Louisiana, feral hogs, descendants of domestic pigs mixed with imported Eurasian stock, have become one of the most destructive invasive species in modern history. What began as a small population decades ago has turned into a full-blown ecological crisis. Today, their numbers have exploded beyond control. These wild boars tear through farmland, destroying native habitats, and challenge the resilience of rural communities. It's not just about a few damaged fields. It's about losing the stability that keeps agriculture, wildlife, and livelihoods alive. The scale of destruction is staggering. Experts estimate that feral hogs cause more than $2.5 billion in damages every year across the U.S. That number isn't just a statistic. It represents broken irrigation systems, flattened fences, and entire seasons of hard work lost overnight. A single group of hogs, called a sounder, can rip through acres of crops in just hours. Cornfields are uprooted, peanut farms reduced to craters, and soil that once held promise turned into a wasteland of churned mud and broken roots. These animals aren't picky eaters. They'll devour corn, rice, melons, insects, and even small animals if they have to. Their diet is as wide as their territory, and their appetite knows no boundaries. The problem doesn't stop with what they eat, it's how they live. Feral hogs root into the soil with incredible strength, overturning layers of earth and exposing the fragile ecosystem beneath. This behavior, which helps them search for food, destroys plant roots, spreads invasive seeds, and disrupts water retention in the land. Once the topsoil is disturbed, erosion begins, leaving behind ground too unstable for new crops to grow. It's a destructive cycle that repeats itself year after year, spreading outward as the hogs expand into new regions. What makes them truly unstoppable, however, is their ability to reproduce at an astonishing rate. A single female hog can produce up to 2 litters a year, with each litter containing anywhere from 6 to 12 piglets. Within months, those offspring mature and start breeding themselves. With few predators capable of controlling their population, the numbers rise exponentially. For every hog removed, more are born. It's a biological race that humans are constantly struggling to keep up with. Even regions once thought inhospitable like deserts and semi-arid plains are no longer safe. Wild boars adapt with remarkable ease. They find shade in abandoned barns, drink from man-made irrigation canals, and forage through any available vegetation. As they spread further into these dry environments, they compete directly with native animals for food and water, putting additional strain on already fragile desert ecosystems. Their presence affects everything from small mammals to large grazing species, upsetting the natural balance that took centuries to evolve. The environmental toll doesn't end with the land. Feral hogs have a reputation for contaminating water sources. Their wallowing behavior, which helps them cool off, often turns ponds, creeks, and irrigation ditches into muddy breeding grounds for bacteria. Contaminants like E. coli seep into local water systems, affecting both wildlife and humans. In places where water scarcity is already a challenge, this contamination compounds the crisis, threatening farms, ranches, and communities that rely on clean sources. The destruction they leave behind is vast. But what makes them so difficult to manage is their intelligence. Wild boars are among the smartest large mammals in North America. They learn to avoid traps, change their movement patterns, and quickly adapt to hunting pressure. Traditional methods like single capture traps or casual hunting barely make a dent in their numbers. That's why states are investing in advanced solutions technologically. Strategic and collaborative done in places like Texas and Oklahoma. Large-scale management programs are turning hunting into a necessary ecological tool rather than mere recreation. Coordinated efforts involve ranchers, local hunters, and wildlife officers working together to track, capture, and reduce hog populations in targeted areas. Smart trapping systems equipped with motion sensors and remote cameras allow entire sounders to be captured at once. Drones equipped with thermal imaging are being used to locate hogs during night raids. These innovations have improved efficiency, but even then, complete control remains elusive. At the same time, researchers are exploring biological and chemical solutions to slow reproduction. Trials involving contraceptive bait and sterilization programs are underway in several states. The goal is not eradication, an almost impossible task at this point, but containment and long-term population management. The key lies in a combination of science, data, and community involvement. Mapping technology has also become a crucial weapon. By analyzing migration routes and feeding patterns, authorities can identify high-risk zones and deploy resources strategically. Farmers are being trained to protect vulnerable assets, reinforce barriers, and adopt sustainable land practices to reduce damage. In many areas, local workshops bring together landowners and environmental experts to share information, track sightings, and coordinate actions. Every bit of knowledge contributes to a collective defense against this ever-expanding invasion. The image of a hunter facing a massive boar in the desert may look like a simple act of courage, but it represents a much deeper struggle between human responsibility and nature's unstoppable force. It's not about revenge or dominance. It's about restoring a fragile balance that keeps rural America functioning. Each captured or removed hog isn't just an individual win. It's a step toward protecting farmland, preserving biodiversity, and ensuring clean water for future generations. Despite the challenges, progress is being made. In areas where coordinated management has been consistent, hog populations have begun to stabilize. These efforts prove that when science and community work together, even the toughest ecological challenges can be met head-on. Still, the road ahead is long. The adaptability of these animals means that complacency isn't an option. One lapse, one unguarded region, and the population could surge again. The wild boar problem has become a symbol of the complex relationship between humans and nature. How a small imbalance can ripple outward into a national issue. It reminds us that managing the environment isn't about control. It's about coexistence with awareness and accountability. The hunter's stand in the desert is just one chapter of an ongoing effort that spans farms, forests, and wetlands across the country. Each region faces its own challenges, but the mission remains the same: to reclaim the land, protect the resources, and secure a sustainable future for generations to come. If you found this exploration of the wild boar invasion insightful, consider subscribing for more detailed reports on nature, wildlife management, and environmental challenges shaping our world today.